a bit of a roller coaster, Freddie, because Va'a comes on, takes a great hit up, scores the try, and then an error from the kickoff as well, all in the space of like 2 minutes.
Where were the other players off the kickoff?
Where was the catcher?
I reckon they thought they were going to go short. But the whole
team don't have to move up there.
Yeah, true, but I think they thought they were going to go short.
So this is the try.
I felt that sorry for him. He's calling people back. Come and help me. Help me.
Best moment of his life at this stage. Friends and family going absolutely nuts in the crowd. And here we go.
Help.
Where do I look? What do I do? The poor fella.
You could see all the boys giving it to him after the match as well. But the best part is, because they won, it didn't really matter. So
they were in front by plenty at that stage. So it didn't matter too much, but I'm sure he'd want it back.
But that's not his job.
No.
Exactly.
Now when your front row is catching it, catches. Who are we going to blame? Blame Teddy. We've been rapping him. Teddy, where were you?
Well, blame Todd Payton. Todd Payton used to love catching it. He used to, as the ball would be landing, he'd be screaming, going, give it to me. He was
a halfback.
He was a great wicket keeper too as a cricketer. He used to hit the ball on the fly all the time, but their tactics were awesome. They had young Harodi over on the right wing, and Toops, 2 sets in a row that just went down. The kicks were fantastic.
Isn't he playing well, Hugo Savala? Jeez,
look at that.
the whole team complement each other. Victor Radley is in incredible form. So he ball plays at the middle. You got Teddy supporting, and then Hugo, he just does his job, just kicks long. Geez, this one here, he's lucky he didn't get sent off for that one, Ronaldo. Look at this flick.
Boom.
But they are airborne, the Roosters.
And all their origin players out. It's disappointing for the Sharks. They had such a good win last week against the Melbourne Storm. And to be fair, they've had 11 or 12 games this year. It's probably the first game they haven't been in.
This is the knock on the Sharks. They can't win big games. Coming off the huge win against the Storm, not being able to back it up, especially with all of them out.
Yeah, and we had no origin players out, obviously. Look, and I know they had a bit of a disrupted week of training with certain players, not training and a little bit hard there. But at the end of the day, when you get on the field, there is no excuses. I just thought their discipline in the first half especially was not great. I mean, I think when you have a look at the end result, I think the penalties count was quite even. But where the Sharks, where the Sharks gave them away was just gifting the Roosters' field position in the first half. I mean, I know they even up by the end of the game, but the Sharks' discipline wasn't great, their ball control wasn't great, and at the end of the day, the Roosters just ran harder. And rugby league, look, I do think we complicate it sometimes. When you run hard and you tackle hard and you control the ball, you give yourself a big chance of winning the game. And to me, that's what the Roosters did yesterday. They simply ran harder and tackled harder, controlled the ball, took their opportunities when they came and got the win. It's not that hard a game sometimes.
The junior coaching and the way they've recruited these younger players, and we all went, who are they buying after Jared and Manu and Sawali and Kiri left? But obviously they had a plan. They saw these young players coming through. And we've probably seen, half a dozen, maybe more young guys debut this year, and they are ready to go. So you got to say the development, the coaching of the juniors is spot on. But the big question is for me, the way they're playing Sandon Smith and also Hugo Savala, you got Sam Walker coming back.
In a couple of weeks, he should be back.
DCE, do they want to buy DCE? They've got Toby Rodwell, who's in the juniors, who by all accounts is shooting the lights out. He's probably 18 months off. But the question's got to be, do you want to spend upwards of $1 million on DCE for 2 years? You've got these young blokes.
Wouldn't you think it's done? I would have thought it's done, to be honest. And I don't think these young guys learning from a DCE for a year or two is definitely not going to hurt them. It's only going to be beneficial to them.
They're not
reckon they'll stay?
Like Hugo Savala and Sandon Smith, they've made their debuts. They're NRL players now. They don't want to go to New South Wales Cup for 2 years. They'll be moving on. And Sam Walker's there. I don't see Sam Walker and DCE being that good a partnership. I see...
why is that? Because they're both controlling halves rather than runners?
Well, DC only plays on the right. Never see him on the left. Sammy Walker's a right side player. Sammy Walker's instinctive and just plays. DCE's similar. If you've got an instinctive player who's all in and just sees something and goes for it, you need the steady hand. I think Sam Walker and Hugo Savala together would really go well. Really go well.
You agree, Freddie?
Yeah. He did say that the Dolphins are also an opportunity. Once again, maybe that's not to play halfback. That might be to play 5'8", because the halfback up there is as good as anyone. So he's not taking his spot.
Well, Izzy Katoa is predominantly a left
So
side
Nicarima,
player.
I'm assuming. Has Nicarima got a contract there next year?
No, I think he's off this year.
So
believe he's
that match looks like it's more likely at the moment.
Watch this space. No doubt it will continue to dominate headlines for the next couple of weeks. The Knights finally back in the winner's circle. I know Joey was happy about that. Big clap for them.
Yep.
And not to take anything away from them, but Panthers, I mean, they had to win this one because the
Don't
Panthers...
take anything but.
No, but they,
This bloke's
you had to
flying.
win this. You had to
couldn't
win this
tackle him.
one without the Panthers
Oh, yeah.
Origin stars, right?
They
It was a
found
great
a way.
performance.
But also Newcastle, Jacob Safidi out, Leo Thompson was a late scratch.
Kalen,
Kalen, I've got to say, Fletcher Sharp, he is truly an elite player. The swerve, the balance, the support play is always in the frame. Big win from the Knights.
well, last year from round 11, Kalen didn't play for 4 weeks and actually won 4 games. So sometimes when you take your best player out and who you really wait for to seek opportunities, all of a sudden everyone starts playing together and becomes a bit of a team instead of just relying on one person. And they look dangerous. The game was over very early. Although Penrith had chances, although Alamotti had about 3 or 4 chances with 2-on-1s with a winger and just come up with bad options.
So they had
They had the
three tries
Jenkins
just
no
late in the
try.
first
I thought
half.
that was a try. I couldn't believe why that was a no try.
Special mention to Paul Bryan on debut. His first tackle, he
Oh.
pops his shoulder out and he pops it back in, somehow plays with the injury, pops it out again, twice, pops it back in. And
How
plays,
painful is that?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It's impossible to play
honestly,
with.
It's insane. I saw the first tackle and he did it. And
You could see it.
you could see him walking like with a dislocated shoulder. But then I thought, OK, he's just going to try to get to half time because there's only about 5 or 6 minutes to go. Here it is here. He come back on the second half. He played about the first 8 or 9 minutes of the second half also. So he's one tough bloke.
And you know what it's like? If you don't play with
Tough.
the play, he's on
Is
debut.
tough the word.
I don't know, but mate, the
Mad.
pain he must have been in. And then he got back into it. And then he had a hit up. He had a hit up and he dislocated it again.
Again. But you know what? You play with a young bloke like that, he you know's busted, but he puts in, you're trusting him. Next time you're defending next to him, you see him, you go, well, I'm sweet. I've got this madman next to me. But, yeah, great story.
They scored 20-odd points after 20 minutes the night. They
flying.
haven't been able to score all year.
Yeah.
In saying that, they only scored 1 point after the rest of the match when I think they were down to 12 at one stage too, the Panthers. But where's that come from?
Support play, but also Kalen not being there, that they set up all the time for the big play for Kalen. There was no setting up last night. Fletcher Sharp's on the ball. He's getting dummy half. They were all pushing forward with each other, playing the ball fast. They played a different style. So
On the positive for the Knights, but on a negative for the Panthers, like to win 4 premierships straight and now be at the bottom of the ladder. I think their season's gone. Daryl Broman said on radio at the start of the year they won't make the 8. We all laughed at him. We all laughed at him and said you're a fool. Then I don't think they're going to make the 8. I think they're in
I'm
big
totally
trouble.
with you.
Yeah, that could be right. They're only
missing
3
so
points.
many
They're only 3
players.
points off the 8 though.
Yeah, it's
like-
insanely
okay,
close.
so-
If you have a look at the
playing-
competition at the moment,
yeah, but
So
look at the way
we'll
they're
like
playing.
16th is 2 points away from the 8.
They've based their whole game on defence for the past 4 or 5 seasons. They missed 55 tackles
Yeah.
yesterday. Like that, the way they're playing is just not.
Mate,
what
have a look
we're
at the
used to
team.
with the
Have a look
Panthers.
at the team they've gone out with.
But it hasn't mattered in years gone by, Freddie.
Yeah, I know, but you've also lost another couple this. So you lose a winger, Taruvi, you lose your 5'8". Who else
Jerome
did they lose?
Fisher-Harris.
Fisher Harris.
And then last night, not only were they missing their Origin players, Luke Garner wasn't there, Papali'i wasn't
remember years
there.
gone by, they've had the luxury this time of year. They've had lots of Origin representation. They haven't had to play them players to back up. So they're playing on Wednesday. They're going to have to play this
Yeah,
week.
because they just
Yeah,
don't have
that's
the
a big
depth.
one.
If they want to win, or get inside that top 8 by the back, they're going to have to back their players
Yeah.
up, which they haven't had to do the
For
past
the whole
couple of years.
6
Now,
weeks.
now that's going to come.
true.
That's going to catch up with them at some stage. The back end of the year it might affect the Origin series. Who knows? But they're going to have to play them. They can't rest
Mate.
them players now.
That whole system has fed the competition of leadership. You look what they've done to the Warriors, you look what it's done to the Tigers, you look what it's done to
Bulldogs.
Canterbury. Like, eventually you're going to get drained where, at the moment they're just drained. They're all gone. So,
played a
they're
lot
just
of
going to have to
footy
come
the
back. And
last
like you
5
said,
years.
coming back and having to play is going to be a real burden. And it's going
They're going to have to do it for 6 weeks every week.
Big game Friday night, live and free.
Oh, how about the hosting duties? Off you go.
Free stuff.
Plug it.
Net Strata,
free stuff.
you'll see it. Knights v Dragons. Dragons coming off the bye.
Is that called a blockbuster?
Ian
There it
Maurice.
is.
There it is, live
Post
and free
Joey.
from 7:30.
On 9 and 9 now. Don't forget 9
9 now,
as
yeah.
well. If you're out and about, get your phone or your iPad open.
Geez, Fletcher Sharp in that photo. He looks like
A serial killer.
Electrocuted.
What about his
He came
mate's
through as a
haircut,
fullback.
Fletcher, the other Fletcher?
They look the same.
Fletcher Hunt.
He's from Warren.
They
out
look
west.
longer.
Yeah, they look, but he's bigger. He's a big dude for a
People from out Warren, their romantic night out is going pigging.
Just
Luke Quigley, remember the bloke Luke Quigley used to
Yeah, I remember Luke
he was from Warren, he just loved so he used to get in tackles and be going yeah, romantic night out. Pigging. Hello Quigs.
Oh, goodness.
Pretty boy Quigley.
Just before we do take a break, to bring it back to the footy, you gave your salute was Dylan Lucas,
Yeah.
right, with the 3 tries. What about the almost 4th
Could have
try?
had 4. He's showing off.
Oh, this is so good.
How about the speed? Fletcher Hunt couldn't keep up with him. Look how fast he is. But I reckon it's a try.
No, it's not a try.
You know, the ball does not leave his hands. His fingers are always on the ball. If that's a kick and he grounds the ball like that, I reckon it's a try.
Gary, you're off your head.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah. I was on radio yesterday and I did it.
Yeah.
Were
he
you
hadn't seen the
were you at Northies?
No, I wasn't at Northies. I was doing radio. I thought actually on radio I thought it was a try.
You'd have to be cross-eyed to think that was.
We'll take a
Go
break.
out to Warren. Cross-eyed
I'll
at
go
Warren.
to Warren. Yeah.
We need a break so Gal can find his mind again. Maybe have a coffee or something. After a really tough start to the year, Freddie, they're slowly starting to put it together, and even more impressive, the fact that they didn't have Zach Lomax and Mitchell Moses.
And the other good part is it was 10-all till about the 37th minute. Turbo was actually coming down that left-hand side, doing some great things. So if you're a Parramatta young bloke, you'd be thinking, you know what, this could be a tough old night. But they just hung out. Their defensive systems, they work under pressure. They all work together really well. And the good thing also is that they attack you from all over the field. Dean Hawkins was involved in 4 tries, just coming up with some really nice balls. His kicking game was fantastic. So you know, they handled the conditions well. Both teams finish up towards 90%, so it's actually quite a high quality game.
We spoke before the match about Dean Hawkins and his kicking game, but really steered the ship, didn't he, for Para, because they're huge shoes to fill with no Mitch Moses.
He was incredible. Did his job, tackled well, steered the team around. His kicking game is really top notch. It was a big reason why they won. His kicking game, just the pressure, the team, but also his kicking game put on Manly.
Junior Paulo for me.
Yeah, he was huge. Game 250.
250 games. Jack Williams, my former team, was fantastic as well. But Junior Paulo, 250 games in the front row there. He's been a terrific player for the Parramatta side. Went down to Canberra for a little while. Played for New South Wales, obviously, but he's a fantastic player. Been around a long time. Leads that team really, really well. They're a young side, Parramatta, a bit of a work in progress, but I thought he was really good the other night. Led from the front and made plenty of metres, plenty of tough tackles, and big reason they won the other night.
One thing they spoke about is changing their body shapes. He's definitely changed his body shape.
Lost over 10 kilos.
He looks fantastic.
Didn't he go to your school and he controlled the school or
Yeah,
something?
so he was at Ashcroft. We went to Ashcroft High, and he apparently, speaking to some teachers there, he had a great influence over the place. He's a really calm bloke, but he also has that pretty intimidation about him as well. So
if students were playing up, he'd grab him and say, pull your head in.
pull him in line.
Good stuff.
He's a great role model, that
Would
is.
you listen to him?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you need your shoes polished at all?
Oh, goodness.
He's scary.
Can be.
Yeah. Scary. Did you fight him?
A long time ago.
How'd you go?
Stop it, Joe.
That was a pretty good fight, actually. Like, for someone who's sort of...
He's a great athlete. He's a really good athlete. He's a really nice guy. Thoroughly deserves everything that was said about him the other night, and I'm really glad the Parramatta side showed up and played for him, because those big games these days, 250, 300 games, they're celebrated a whole lot more now than what they used to be, and people make a big deal of them. So for your teammates to turn up and go out there and play well for you, I think it's a great sign of how much respect they have for him. So, yeah, well done to Junior and the Parramatta side for turning up the other night. I thought they played really well.
It was great that he's able to stay at Para and continue his career there, because they let go of other senior players like Clint Gutherson, and many at the time thought, why are they doing that? But in comes this young kid, Isaiah Iongi.
It's a win-win for everyone. It's a win for St George Illawarra. Gutho's been their best player all year. But long term, this guy's going to be there for 10, 12 years.
He's good.
So you can understand, and you've got to make those tough decisions. This guy is an absolute star, and he's only going to improve. Once again, out of the Penrith system, well-educated, but he's a star. Quick, tough, brings the ball back really hard.
When you are young and you do get your first grade career started, it's hard to be consistent. The hardest thing about first grade and playing in the NRL is playing week in, week out, year in, year out. A lot of guys can come up and play 1 or 2 good games. It's not when you're an athlete and you train full time. It's not overly hard to come up and play 1 good game, 2 good games, but to do it week in, week out, that's where you're really tested. And he's only a young guy. That was his best game the other night for sure. And yeah, I mean, there's going to come time he's going to have a down period too. He's not going to be able to keep it up every week because he is so young. But the future looks bright for Parramatta and a few of their young stars coming through.
Big future ahead and big week ahead. On Sunday, we have the Battle of the Golden West. Do you want to plug this one, Joey? You did
Battle
such a
of
good
the
job.
West. This is at Combeck, big crowd. It's going to be nice weather. State of Origin players back. Nathan Cleary against Mitchell Moses.
Remember last time they played here, these two?
No, what happened?
Well, Nathan kicked the 40-20, then Mitchell Moses won it with a field goal.
Yeah, so get out there, get your tickets. Tickets on sale now on Ticket Deck.
Post Joey.
Was that the one who kicked a 40-metre field goal to even?
Get on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
YouTube.
Buy them on
Don't do
YouTube. There we go.
Don't do that. Don't listen.
I've never broken mine, actually. I know it looks like I have, but it's been hit plenty of times, but I haven't actually
You got
broken it.
plasticine up your
No,
nose.
I haven't actually broken it. But I actually, Danica came to me and said, do you reckon he'll come back on? I said, look, it's only a nose. I think he'll be all right. And sure enough, he did.
There you go.
Yeah, the doctor, you could see in there
Straighten
putting
it
it
up.
back into... Yuck.
It's only.
I'm sure everyone's having breakfast. I don't want to hear about that. They do want to hear, well, if you're a Dolphins fan, about the huge win, 44-8 over the Bulldogs. Yes, of course, the Dogs were missing their Origin plays, but I mean, the Dolphins were missing the hammer, so it was an epic win there in the wet.
They were outstanding, the Dolphins. A bit like the Parramatta game. It was actually 8-all up until about the 35th minute, and they scored at half-time. That was this try. And then from there, in the second half, the Dogs just fell away and they just got better. Their defence through the middle was outstanding. He is coming up with some incredible offloads, Josh Kerr. But as a team, and I've got to say their middles were just, they were brutal in defence and they were just moving the ball just enough in attack to end up scoring 40-odd points. They were all through the middle as well.
Well, they moved the ball really well, Freddie. They moved, like, for those conditions, you'd think you just tuck the ball on the arm and go forward, but they moved it a hell of a lot, and their completion rate was over 80%, so I thought that was fantastic. From the Dogs' point of view, I think the most disappointing thing for them would be the way they defended. They based their whole game around defence. I think they missed 50-odd tackles in the game, so that's something they don't do. Their completion rate was well below 70%, which is something they also don't do. So they were out of sorts the other night, the Dogs. I thought they'd win on the back of their systems they've put in place over the past couple of years. I thought the blokes coming in would just step in, do the job, but unfortunately, they couldn't, and they do have a lot of injuries. They've got 9 or 10 of their top line players out, so at some stage it's going to catch up with you, and it did catch up the other night.